Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you did enjoy that opening segment. So I did want to open up with a more important segment because of today's action figure review. Now hopefully I am going to be able to include that segment and YouTube doesn't strike this video. Man, I don't know what's up. I see all of these videos where content creators always incorporate clips, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, and I don't know where they get their clips from. I assume everybody's sharing clips together, and and they're all getting monetized and are able to include their clips. And whenever I include clips, it's always getting some kind of struck or copyright, so I don't know how they're doing it, but I wanted something unique, something fun for the video. Today I had a couple of VA doctor appointments, so I made a couple of trips to Aldi today, and during my little grocery trip, I came across Prime. Yeah, just before I get into my review today, I want to talk about this. So Jimmy is always advertising this for Mr. Beast, right? And I saw this and I'm like, you know what? I want to get this crap a try because I want to see what the big freaking deal about Prime energy drinks are. Is it an actual energy drink? Is it like a Gatorade and Powerade? What is it? So I got the Prime and I want to drink it with you guys and see what the big deal is. Actually, it don't smell anything like Gatorade or anything like that. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad, but they call it a hydration drink, and I wouldn't call this a hydration drink. It's not bad, but if you're working out, you wouldn't see this in the gym. I'd be very surprised if a legitimate gym sold Prime in their gym. I mean, to me, I'm drinking this and it tastes like bubble gum or cotton candy. I could see why they would package this with their Lunchables ripoff. What was it called? Lunchly. Like I said, it tastes like candy. So for kids, yeah, I could understand why they would drink this. It tastes like a candy drink. So it's not bad. It's just it's not I wouldn't call it a hydration drink. Like a healthy alternative, to like water or anything like, or Powerade or anything like that. All right, I've tried it. It's fine. All right, now to the actual main focus of today's video. The newest release from Mattel Coliseums. And based on the opening segment of this video, you kind of have an idea of the characters we're going to be looking at. And it is going to focus on that matchup from 1993's Royal Rumble. Bam Bam Bigelow and the Big Boss Man. So, as a matter of fact, special shout out to Jason over on JP's World of Wrestling. So he does, these videos kind of reflecting on each of the Royal Rumbles, right? And I kind of had to go back and do a quick glance over on the match of Bam Bam Bigelow versus Big Boss Man because I don't remember any of the matches from Royal Rumbles, right? And when I actually review or watch any of the old tapes, any of the Coliseum tapes, I only watch the Rumbles. I really could care less about the actual individual matches or the tag team matches. It's the tournament, the Royal Rumble tournament itself that I care about. But he kind of just talked about, the finishing match with the Bam Bam Bigelow going to the top rope and finishing Big Boss Man off with the headbutt. And I obviously love Big Boss Man. He's one of my top 10 all-time favorite wrestlers. Huge fan of Bam Bam Bigelow. And obviously his portrayal in Major Payne, one of my all-time favorite comedies. Major Payne is one of those movies where I'm not a big fan about going back and watching movies that I've already seen. And if I do watch a movie that I've seen, it's got to be a movie that I haven't seen in a very long time. But Major Payne, shoot, that's like one of those movies where I don't mind. Like if I've seen it yesterday, I could come back and watch it the next day, and I'm okay with that. It's one of those movies where you don't mind watching it. And Bam Bam Bigelow, his character, his portrayal in that movie is fantastic. So this is the Ultimate Edition of the newest release from Mattel Creations, and the Mattel Coliseum collection. For those that don't know, with the Mattel Coliseum, it kind of gives you what Mattel and Jakks Pacific with their figures, and it kind of gives you that 1980s LJN backdrop. So it kind of gives you a nice vintage flavor as well. So let's open these beauties up. I'm kind of disappointed with this first opening. Reason being, the last two packages I've actually received, when you actually look at the back of the card, right? So this was, well, actually the first one you actually got was Sergeant Slaughter. And Sergeant Slaughter was like some kind of special SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, something like that, release. And I actually just picked that up on Mercari, both a black card and a blue card backdrop. And that was expensive as heck. But I was able to get both the Chase and the original off Mercari several months ago. So that was nice to add to the collection. But both I call them Series 1 with Terry Funk and Hogan Wright. And then Series 2 with Jake and Rick Rude. And then Series 3 had Piper and George Steele. And then Series 4 with the Hart Foundation. Now Series 4, I actually got on the Chase black card backdrop. And Series 5 with the $1 Million Man and Ricky Steamboat, that too I also got on the Chase black card backdrop. So the last two times I ordered from Mattel Creations, I got both of those on black card. So getting both Bam Bam and the Big Boss Man on blue card, I got spoiled the last two times. So getting them on blue card now, I'm kind of disappointed. I don't know if these actually have a Chase variant, but I'm assuming that they all come with Chases. Now, I could be wrong, but I would assume that they did. But for sake of argument, let's just say they all come on blue card. Until I see different. But this is a beauty. I love Big Boss Man figures, and that's the thing about the clothed figures, right? $1 Million Man, Honky Tonk Man, Big Boss Man. Those figures were always going to look absolutely insanely good because the clothed figures always give you that extra graphical design, and with the accessories, that's why I always say go for Big Boss Man, go for Jake Roberts, go for the $1 Million Man. That snake accessory, that $1 Million belt, and even the nightstick. Those are nice accessories to have. This is an insanely good figure for an awesome character. So, Big Boss Man, his bio card says, the Big Boss Man has taken it upon himself to bring his own brutal brand of law in order to to WWE. He will bring justice to WWE by being judge, jury, and executioner, and has been known to handcuff beaten opponents to the ring ropes and beat them with his nightstick after matches. So that's kind of funny. Obviously, one of the big feuds during the Hasbro era in the early 90s was with the inmate Nails. Now, the bad thing is, Big Boss, I don't think Nails and Big Bossman actually ever fought. And that was like this big major buildup. Big Boss Man squaring off against Nails. In Georgia, Big Boss Man was supposed to be this prison guard, and Nails was his inmate. And once, Nails got out of prison, why he had this jumpsuit, who freaking knows? I mean, that's supposed to be turned in to the prison once you got out, but he's still wearing this Department of Corrections jumpsuit. Stupid, but that's the gimmick. He wanted to go after the Big Boss Man, his prison guard, who apparently was very brutal to him while he was in prison. But he ended up choking out Big Boss Man, choking out Vince McMahon, and he was fired. So that, I don't think that ever came to fruition. Nails was also supposed to be feuding with the Undertaker. I don't think that ever happened. But Nails and Undertaker on a magazine cover was one of my favorite covers. But that's again, awesome backdrop. And like I said, I love the LJN look. That's incredible. And even the backdrop, keeping with that whole LJN look. Easier move, slide backs, amazing. Now, I'm not going to take this whole thing out, right? But because it's easier move, at least you're going to be able to look at some of it. And I think these are, yeah, they are. They're kind of tied down a little bit. That's why I'm not going to take the whole thing out. But I'm going to give you kind of like a little up close look of the figure. Now, generally with these figures, with like all these different points of articulation and all that, I'm not a huge fan. That's why I'm not a huge fan of like Jack Specific and all of these Mattel type figures with these type of looks. That's why you don't see me open up a lot of these packages and display them loose. Stuff like, Hasbro. You might see arms go up like that, right? Those type of figures, yeah, I don't mind displaying those loose because that's fine. Usually the lower body is stationary. Occasionally, the legs might be movable, like Earthquake, Typhoon, but all of these figures where the hands are all movable and the elbows and shoulders and all, no, I hate that. These figures, I keep them on card because I generally don't like these type of figures. But aesthetically, on package or in package, on card, they look phenomenal. The Jack Specific Classic Superstars. I absolutely love the packaging. Looking at the figures in the package, incredible. You take them out of the package, I could give a rat's ass about them, right? But so it looks like the glasses are removable, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm not going to try and take the glasses out. Nightstick seems pretty thick, so that's pretty nice. Looks like the even the strap along the strap isn't painted on. The strap is actually, you can actually pick at the strap, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, this is a very well made figure. Highly recommended on that one. Obviously, the box comes with extra heads and stuff. I'm not going to take the box out. Unnecessary. Backdrop. Cardboard, plain. Very simple. And of course, inside the package, you got a little separation before you pull out the next figure. And that's just your inside. So this, I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't, but that little, at the very bottom of the stairs, that glass case where I had all the carded packages of the Power Rangers that really didn't really display well. I started taking those all upstairs, right? And one of my shelves just came in, so the 90s superhero room is going to be set up with all of those packages. And I started taking all of the packages that are on the floor, and I started putting them in that glass display case to include all of these figures. I might have to start rearranging that display case as well, because I kind of want like loose display figures. I don't want packaging, because it doesn't kind of make sense to have packaging in there. They're still not going to be displayed right. They're all going to kind of look like this. And it takes up a lot of space, and they don't display well. I want them face forward. We can actually see them. Well, for Bam Bam Bigelow, it states, few competitors created the stir that Bam Bam Bigelow did before stepping into a WWE ring. Despite his immense proportions, Bigelow is exceptionally light-footed, performing drop kicks and cartwheels in a manner men his size only dream about. Clearly, Bam Bam Bigelow has emerged as a true hero in WWE. And I talked about it before. I have no idea which video game it is. I have all of these Nintendo wrestling video games, and I don't play them because they're terrible. In childhood, they were absolutely phenomenal, and I love them to death. But as an adult, I've tried a couple of them, and I'm like, no. I want them for nostalgia, but I have no intention of playing them. Garbage. It's like, I want those nostalgic memories to be positive. If I go back and I play these as an adult and I just realize how bad they are, it's going to take away that fondness, right? But from childhood, you play these video games, and all you remember is this guy with this black and this fiery outfit, Bam Bam Bigelow, doing cartwheels in the video game. And that's how I got introduced to the Bam Bam Bigelow character. I don't even know if I even remember him in wrestling first, or if I remember him in the video game first. But that was pretty awesome. And he was like this really short, puffy guy. So I think I might have been introduced to him in a video game prior to actually knowing him actually in wrestling. But Bam Bam Bigelow, he was part of the 1987 Survivor Series. So he was in WWF long before, long before Ray Traylor joined WWF. I think around 89, I want to say. So, and I think Big Boss Man, you see the tape on his hands in the opening segment. He had some injuries, some back problems, and he was on his way out of WWF as well. And he was on his way to WCW. And one of the things with Big Boss Man going into WCW, he was taking the moniker The Boss when he was going into WCW. And, Bam Bam Bigelow is another one. I mean, he went to WCW as, I think he was still Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, he's always been Bam Bam to the best of my knowledge. ECW, I don't know all these other different locations that he was in, but I think he was pre-WWF as Bam Bam, so, but I think the WWF tried suing or put a halt to that whole The Boss deal, too close to Big Boss Man, so I think he went on with a couple different names before Big Bubba Rogers popped up, and, he got a figure out of original San Francisco toy makers, or a couple figures from that line, and eventually settled on like Ray Traylor, his name. And he eventually came back to WWF and was the Big Boss Man and had the whole SWAT look. I want to remember Boss Man like this, in blue, the good guy Big Boss Man that everybody loved. The whole SWAT thing is part of, what was it called? The corporation or whatever it was. Part of Vince McMahon's corporation, you know, the bully or whatever the heck he was. No, man, that's stupid. I mean, I was already stopped. I was long done with wrestling at that point, but that's... But yeah, I mean, Boss Man, he what was he, like 43 when he died? He was a young man. I mean, I think Bam Bam Bigelow, I think he died in the early 2000s as well. I mean, he was probably like early 40. I mean, he may have been older. Wrestlers, I mean, a lot of guys don't live long lives. That's always sad. Like I said, Bam Bam Bigelow, I mean, outside of wrestling, because of major pain, I mean, that's something I'm always going to have a, you know, strong, you know, appreciation for his character. So, and I like that they did this figure right. I've had, what was it? I don't know if it was, God, what was it? It had to be I mean, it was a WCW figure. I mean, who made WCW? I mean, original San Francisco, maybe. I don't think it was Jax. But there was a figure very similar to this where he was like all decked out in like blue. And it was probably like late 2000s, prior to 2010 maybe. I remember I just gotten back probably from like my second deployment. So this had to be 2000... Well, it may have been my first deployment, so maybe at the end of 2006, early 2007. So maybe after my first deployment, and I was looking for Hasbro figures, and of course I didn't know they were Hasbro figures, right? So yeah, it had to be my first deployment because we had just moved into our on-post housing, and I remember I bought a bundle of figures off eBay. And they included Typhoon, which I had never seen before. They included the British Bulldog, which I had as a kid, and one other figure, which I don't remember which one, and a bunch of WCW figures I could care less about, but they were wrestling figures. And I had those figures for 15 years or more, and I never once displayed them. The entire time I had them, they were always in a plastic bag, and I just had them sitting on top of like a shelf, or they were never displayed. I didn't care about them. But a couple years ago, I finally sold those figures, all those WCW figures, and I probably would want them back now because I probably sold like 21 figures. I probably got like 20 bucks for them or less. I could not sell those figures to save my life, and when I finally did, they sold for like $1 a piece or less for the bundle. This is a really good sculpt. I like this figure a lot. Look at his face. They even got the teeth right. The little grin on his face. I don't know. Like, to me, Bam Bam always seems like he's like he's always constipated or something. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but like, yeah, like he's constipated would be a good descriptor. Oh man, that's awesome. And unlike LJN, where they don't paint anything on the back of the shirt, at least they kind of fill this back part in, so that's pretty awesome. And they actually give you graphics on the boots. Thank you so much. I hate when people just give you just straight jet black boots. I mean, no, I don't like that. I like when there's actual detail in the boot area. It's just such a small, minute detail, but it's something, you know. Every minor graphical detail counts. And this is a good detail. Try to move this plastic out of the way so you guys can at least see the tattoo details on his arms. Like I said, I'm not going to break this off because these don't ever come out of the package. I'm never going to open these and display these. Nor am I ever going to buy secondary figures of these. I mean, one day if I ever see an auction or something where someone's selling a loose figure, would I try to buy them loose then? That would be something I would consider. But as far as buying these twice, you know, one for loose, no. These, I don't buy two of these. I have no intention of ever buying two of these. They're too expensive, first off. And, you know, if these were like 20 bucks a piece, I could say maybe, but at like $70 plus, I mean, no. That to me, no. And I don't see something like this ever really gaining in value, so it just doesn't make financial sense. Alright. I don't know if I'm going to post a video tomorrow. If I do, we might look at the figure collection store. We might start looking at the figure collections. I'm out drawing a blank. Bone crunching figures. Ugh. Or we might look at their Hasbro style figures. I don't know. I might put them in one video, or I might separate them into their own individual videos. More than likely, make the Bone Crunchers one video and their Hasbro style figures another video. But that is it for this video. I mean, this video is hovering around 30 minutes, and that's insane. I talked too much in the beginning. If you want candy flavored energy drinks, hydration drinks, go for Prime, but no. Would I recommend it? Probably not, but it's not horrendous. It's not as disgusting as everyone's making it out to be. It's okay. It's not great. It's not great. It's not bad. It's average. It fills a need. Let's put it that way. As always, guys, you know, thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you guys in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.